Okay, this is the Game is on 100 here with the video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how the WWE title, how this title is being more and more as being a prop, a toy now than it was ever has it been. And also I'm going to be talking about the Miz and with his Money in the Bank cash in, his credibility, and how the credibility the WWE titles is supposed to mean in this business. And I want to first off that I know everyone is thrilled that the Miz is your new WWE champion, but I don't feel that the Miz is credible yet as being the WWE champion. As how from what I can tell, I've been watching wrestling. I started watching wrestling in 1988. And that's when I first became a wrestling fan when I was 8 years old. And that when it was really hooked to me to be a professional wrestling fan. Now, back in that time, I was a fan because they made the WWE be prestigious and very credible as a person who held that belt. I'm going to be talking about The Miz later, but I'm going to be talking about the WWE title now. The WWE title now is a prop to what everybody knows. They just put the WWE title on whoever now, which is a big crock, which I know they want to get the person over, but the person doesn't have to be over to be WWE champion. They have to be credible as WWE champion, and The Miz isn't there yet. I want to be talking about The Miz later, but right now I'm going to be talking about the prestige and the history of the WWE title. Back in the day, the WWE title was the belt in professional wrestling. Like with the NWA had their title, the AWA had their title, and it was prestigious. Now the WWE title is not as prestigious as it once was, because the WWE just puts the title on anyone. So that is just a literal, I would say, a slap in the face for the previous legends who held that title to make him be credible as champion. And this is going to go way back to, I'm going to be talking about the WWE and The Miz being the WWE champion right now. He is the champion of the company, which is a complete joke at this moment. I know everyone is going to hate me by me saying this, but that's how it is. Now, back in the day, I know all you Smart Mark fans don't know about your history of wrestling. I'm talking about the wrestling, the pre-Attitude Era. I'm talking about the 70s, 80s, and the 90s leading up to the Attitude part of the WWE. And back in that time, that WWE title was the most prized person to ever hold that belt. They were proud to be WWE champion. And the examples of the champions who held that title as it went, like back we know when the WWE title was created in 1963, it was the first champion was Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. He was credible as champion at the time. He was the NWA heavyweight champion, and somehow they made the WWE had a tournament, and then Buddy Rogers had the title for a month. Then he lost it to Bruno Sammartino, and Bruno Sammartino held that belt for over 7 years, and he was credible as WWE champion. Then he lost it to Ivan Koloff, and then he was just a transitional champion. Then they put the belt on Pedro Morales. And Pedro Morales was a credible wrestler. He was believable as being WWE champion. Then after Pedro Morales held the belt for, I would say, almost maybe 2 years, roughly, then they had him drop the title to Stan Stasiak. He only held it for 8 days, and then Bruno Sammartino got the belt back and held it for four more years until the first person who is the most charismatic WWE champion, and that was Superstar Billy Graham. And Superstar Billy Graham has so much charisma. He was believable as a WWE champion. And then he lost the title to Bob Backlund, and Bob Backlund was credible. The WWE built Bob Backlund as being a credible WWE champion. This was all during the time of the Vince McMahon Sr. when he was running the company. But then there was a change. And Vince McMahon Jr. purchased his dad's company. He wanted to make wrestling to be in the mainstream, and he had to have the right guy to do it. And that going into Hulk Hogan. As we all know, the Bob Backlund held the title for 6 years until he lost it to the Iron Sheik. And when Iron Sheik had the belt, it was just a traditional time for him to be the champion, then to have him drop it to Hogan, and Hogan was going to lead the WWE into the next mainstream to get the WWE to put him on the map, and so forth. And Hogan was credible as being the guy in the WWE to help make the WWE into a worldwide phenomenon. And Hogan held the belt for 4 years. All right? He had the longest reign as of right now, he has the longest reign in over 2 decades. And then Hogan wanted to take some time off. He was going to be doing a movie, and then the WWE decided that, well, we're going to have Hogan is going to have to drop the title, which Hogan said he was going to drop the title and make controversially to Andre the Giant, and which we all saw the screw job by the Hebner twins to screw Hogan out of his title, and then let Andre get the title controversial and give it up to Ted DiBiase. And it was after that, we all know about the thing with the Randy Savage situation. We know about Hogan. The WWE had to put the title on someone. There was originally supposed to be Ted DiBiase, but there was circumstances that got involved with the Honky Tonk Man, and Vince McMahon decided, well, Ted DiBiase was a real pro. He was supposed to get the title, but that didn't happen. Randy Savage got the title because Randy Savage was credible as being a champion. He was a charismatic individual. He was flamboyant. He was believable as being a WWE champion. And he held the belt for over a year because at the time when Hogan's movie coming out, No Holds Barred, they had to have Hogan get the belt back. So in time, when the movie came out, Hulk Hogan had to be the champion when the movie came out, which is what the WWE did, and WWE put the belt on Hogan. He was credible as being a champion. Then he kept it for a year, and then he lost it to the Ultimate Warrior, and the Ultimate Warrior at the time was credible. He was pushed to being the guy in the WWE, and the WWE felt it was the right time to put the belt on the Warrior and lead the WWE to the next century, but that didn't actually happen. And then what they had to do is they had to make the Warrior wasn't going to drop the title to anyone, so they had to preserve character. They made the Warrior drop the title to Sergeant Slaughter, but Hogan decided that he didn't want to, that the Warrior wasn't going to be winning the title, wasn't going to drop the title to nobody else other than Hogan. So Hogan decided that he wanted his rematch, his title match, to be against Sergeant Slaughter, and that what came into a head. and Hogan got the belt. Sergeant Slaughter had it for the traditional time. He held it till when Hogan beat him. And then Hogan kept it for several months until he lost it to The Undertaker. Undertaker was, at the time, as credible, being he was undefeated at the time. He was credible as being a WWE champion. He held it for a week in the traditional time. Then Hogan won it from him. Then Hogan was stripped of the title, and then he put it on the line at the Royal Rumble, and we all know Ric Flair won the title by lasting in over an hour in the Royal Rumble. It was, everyone's been calling the best Royal Rumble there ever was. And in this Royal Rumble, Ric Flair lasted over an hour. He won the WWE title. And no one did believe Ric Flair would last an hour, but Ric Flair could last an hour in the NWA, and the fans didn't know about it at the time. And then we had Randy Savage got the belt back, and he was credible as being champion. And that led into the WWE wanted to put the title on someone else. They had Savage drop it to Flair, to traditional, to the champion to be Bret Hart, to lead the company into into the future. And Bret Hart did beat Ric Flair for the title. Bret Hart was credible. He was believable as a WWE champion, and we all know Bret Hart kept it until WrestleMania 9, and Yokozuna was credible of being a WWE champion. He was on a major string of wins. He went to the Royal Rumble. He won the Royal Rumble, went to WrestleMania, and won the WWE title from Bret Hart. And then WWE decided to put the belt on Hulk Hogan to, it would have been the first WrestleMania that the face hasn't won WrestleMania, that the heel was going to be walking out as champion. It always has been the face has always walked out as champion. So the WWE decided to have Hogan surprise, get the title, and Hogan was supposed to drop it to Bret Hart at SummerSlam, but Hogan didn't want to drop it to SummerSlam, so Hogan decided to drop the belt back to Yokozuna and have Yokozuna lose the title to Bret Hart. And then Yokozuna, he was credible as a champion. He kept it for about 9 months, and then Bret Hart beat him at WrestleMania for the WWE title. And then we seen Bret Hart was credible as a champion to then give the title to Bob Backlund. As we all know, Bob Backlund was a former WWE champion, and it was just a tradition period to have put the belt on Bob Backlund, and they wanted to put the title on for some reason for Kevin Nash. And Kevin Nash had the belt. He kept it for a year until he lost it to Bret Hart at the Survivor Series of 1995. And we seen Bret Hart, as credible as a champion he was, and he kept that belt up until WrestleMania 12 when he was challenged by Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels was credible. The WWE built Shawn Michaels up, and he won the Royal Rumble. He won the Royal Rumble 2 times in a row. He won the Royal Rumble, went to WrestleMania, had an Iron Man match with Bret Hart, beat Bret Hart for the WWE title, and Shawn Michaels was credible. Shawn Michaels kept the belt up until November of the Survivor Series, and they had Sid Vicious. He got the title from Shawn Michaels. Sid was credible as being a WWE champion. Then he held it till Shawn Michaels got it back from him. Then Shawn Michaels had to give it up to injury. Then they traditionally give it to Bret Hart, then Sid, and then they had The Undertaker, who was credible, to give him the title, and he would have his longest title reign ever. Then he would drop it to Bret Hart. And with Bret Hart, he got the title, he was credible, and that led up until the Montreal Screwjob, and we had Shawn Michaels beat Bret Hart for the WWE title.